one thing some people don't know, Sid, is that you've been basically, you switch channels. You're getting into bodybuilding now, and I was wondering if there's going to be any documentaries about that, or if you're doing any contest, or can you explain a little bit about that to me?
Yeah, Bob, I got a contest, one in Jackson, Tennessee, coming up in April, the one in June that I did last year, my very first one at 49 years old. I'm doing this one in 50 year, we call it Grand Masters. I did a documentary a couple of years ago, my last year in wrestling. It was called F is for Fun. It was about wrestling in small towns where there is no cussing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do one this year on bodybuilding. But I'm looking at all, I'm trying to find out all the information I can on other documentaries. I want to do mine totally different, like my wrestling documentary was. Nobody's done that kind of documentary before. I want to do one that no one else has done.
Cool. That's cool. Now, do you think that's going to come out within a year or so, or?
You know, Bob, when I started the wrestling documentary called F is for Fun, it took me 10 months to make. And, but I had a whole lot, I filmed for 10 months. I must have done, you know, in 10 months I could have done 40, probably 30 or 40 shows to get 18 minutes to film, okay? So I'm trying to figure out how I can get, those are called shorts in film festivals, Bob, and that's all I want to do is shorts, because anything longer than that, you're going to get head-to-head against big time, even in the fitness industry, you're going against things that just you're not going to beat, especially being new into it like me. I'm not trying to go against Sundance Film Festival and nothing like that, I'm just trying to do my own little gig.
Yeah.
But it would probably be around the same thing. You know, Bob, for me, I think bodybuilding is at an all-time low. And I think it'll probably be something to try to explain to people how it's gotten there.
Huh. No, so you basically, you think it's at an all-time low, and you think that's
well, we know
because...
it is, Bob. I mean, I'm not, and I don't know much about the bodybuilding industry, but we know, for instance, I got a chance to, a few years ago, I forget what town it was in, when I was in Portland, Maine. I met Miss Olympia there. Then with the lady who went to next year after that, I can't remember. It's like somewhere in North Carolina or something at a Gold's Gym. She told me that was the last, and this was a long time ago, that was the last year of Miss Olympia, that there was no more like that. And then this year, Bob, when I was in this contest, you know, when they don't have women bodybuilding because no one's interested in it, the men's competitions are, I mean, nothing like they used to be, Bob. I mean, nothing. And I'm not knocking myself, but man, I'm 50 years old and never did a bodybuilding contest, and I'm 6'8", and it's hard to get, you know, not that I'm not in great shape, but I did too well for my first time, Bob. So that tells you that the bodybuilding industry is not like it used to be.
Yeah, yeah. Now, one thing I was wondering about, Sid, I know you're in probably the best shape, like I say, you've ever been in your life now, and you know, I was wondering if you could give me an idea. I know every time I talk to you, you're basically doing long workouts. You're never in the gym for just a short amount of time. So I was wondering if you could give me an example of what one of your workouts is like, a typical workout, typical Sid workout.
All right, Bob. Let's just say, for instance, you know, for people, I'm gonna give a quick, the beginning of some of my body parts. Like, for instance, just the first thing that I might do for legs sometimes. I'll start off doing legs, and I'll start off at 135, and I'll work myself up to 315 to 365. And in between that, I'll come up at either 10 or 15 or 20 pound increments. I'll start off legs, Bob, with 10 sets of 10. That's 100 repetition of squats. Okay? I'll work myself up to a leg press, probably 800 to 900 pounds for sets of either 20 or 30. And when I'm talking about sets, Bob, I'm not talking about partial sets. For someone who's 6'8", if you've ever seen me work out, there's no one who goes farther up, you know, range of motion, because that's, in my opinion, that's a really important thing to make the body, you know, fill out. That's the beginning of a leg day. I won't go into like this morning, Bob, when I started the gym, I was there at 6:30. By the time I got through with my workout, I did shoulders this morning. By the time I got through my workout and I did my cardio on calves and ass, I got to 6:30 and I left at 10:30. Now, I'm going to tell a lot of people out there, because there's a way to do that. Now, I take breakfast before I work out, and I take a meal with me. And I eat immediately at the gym before I ever leave, because nutrition is so important of it. Another workout, for instance, on chest, I do just, and when people do this workout, Bob, they can't move the next day. I'll do was, I learned this from a guy, it's not something I made up. The guy was a power lifter. His name was Doug Furness. He played football at UT. He was one of the first people to squat 1,000 pounds. I got his chest workout one time. And what you do is you do your regular grip. Bob would say your regular grip at bench press, and I would do 3 or 4 sets. And say I would do 135 to failure for how many repetitions? I'd write that down. And then I'd do 185 to failure, 225 to failure, 275 to failure. Then I'd start back over at 185 for the wide grip. I'd do 185, 225, 275, and I'd write my numbers down. Then I start again at 185 with a close grip. And why I do that, Bob, is because we think our compound exercise chest being, we always measure ourselves by bench press, and legs we're going to measure ourselves by squats, and for me on shoulders I measure myself by power cleans. So those kind of lists are important to me. So in chest, that workout, what it does, Bob, when you go to failure with your regular grip, you're exhausted. You go to out wide, that works the bottom of your bench press, and you're already exhausted, because if you try this by yourself wide, you're going to be a whole lot stronger next time. And I do the hardest thing last. I do close grips, 3 sets to failure. And what that does, it works the lockout. By the time you get that done, Bob, if you start counting those reps up, that's 135, I'm doing that for probably 30 or 40 reps, 185 up to 25 to 30 reps, 225 up to 20 reps, and 275 anywhere from 8 to 12 reps. You add all those up, that's an enormous amount of reps. Then I do the regular stuff. I do dumbbell presses, flies, incline presses, cable crossovers, and then I'm done. But the thing about my workouts that are different than most everyone's is that I got to learn from a lot of people. But one of the people I've met, and everybody hear me say this, are going to think I'm stupid, but the Iron Sheik. The Iron Sheik is a man that I got to meet through wrestling. He was from Iran. He had won a silver medal and I think a bronze medal in the Olympics, and won a couple of gold medals in the Pan American Games as a wrestler for the country of Iran.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I like that song.
Do what?
I said I like that Iron Sheik song. I listen to that sometimes.
Yeah. When we was working out, when we was doing the same chest workout I was telling you about, it was the first time I ever did that workout. It was 20-some years ago in Atlanta. I was doing it with him and a guy named Nick Busick, who is still has lifting records across the country that have been broken. And I noticed the Iron Sheik, any of his compound exercises, say for bench press, he could do 225 or 10 times to failure.
Wow. And
you could go back to him 20 sets later, Bob, he could still do 225 for 10 reps. To me, that set off a lightning bolt to me. I said, that's what you're calling conditioning. If you could come within one number from your first set to the 10th set, what does that tell you, Bob? It tells you you're in shape. And that's what I learned about things. So what my workouts are, the thing that makes them different and everything, I do not have any empty sets, Bob. And when I see people write stuff down at the gym, the first thing I ask them, I say, are you writing down that you just did an empty set? And they look at me like they don't know what I'm talking about. Wow. So to me, that's about an average day in the gym.
Damn. That's an incredible workout. Now, how many days a week do you work out?
Bob, I work out 7 days a week. Now, right now, I'm only working out 1 day at a time because I'm in the very lowest body weight I've ever been, and I can't afford to work out more than 1 time a day. And if I was bulked up, back around, anywhere from 290 to 300, I'm working out twice a day, Bob. That's then on an average 7 hours in the gym a day. In the summer times, if you count my doubles and the bleacher running I do in the afternoons, you're talking 8 hours of working out in the whole day. And what you want to equate that to, Bob, is someone who's getting ready for the Olympics.
Yeah. Well, that's incredible.
And I don't think you can find anybody that trains like that still at 50 years old. No,
there's very few. I know Jack LaLanne, God bless him. He just passed away. That guy was in incredible shape, and it's a tribute to what working out every day and working out your whole life like that can do. And so are you.
I can't say enough about Jack LaLanne. of course, I don't know how many, when I was just a little bit kid, I don't know how many Jack LaLanne shows I saw, him with those 2 German Shepherds.
Yeah.
It's just like, that again, I'm always going to look up to the guy. The guy did only good things, and man, if I could live the life that guy lives, I'd be one happy guy.
Yeah.